All right, let's start with our today's class, and we are going to go for logo, right? And earlier we have discussed about the canvas and the artboard, where how do you create that particular thing. So we have already taken that out of the way. So how do you create a logo, and how do you categorize the logo? How do you make it a type of a logo? So we're gonna talk about some of logos through this PPT as well, and through which we can categorize the type, and how do we start drawing with it. That is what we are going to discuss today, right? So as we have already known that what is a logo is a graphic mark, emblem or a symbol used to aid and promote public identification and recognition. Basically it is something to remember, where for your brand. So every time whenever they talk about your brand, they could easily communicate through a visual medium. Like if they could show their logo, that do you know that is my logo, or that is my company logo, everybody would remember it throughout the um, time. Wherever they saw your logo, they would actually connect through you and your product as well. Right, so it may be an abstract or figurative design, or include the text of the name it represents, as in a word mark. It may be a text, it could be a figure, it could be a design, it could be random design as well, it could be a sound effect also, and an expression as well. Yes, it's a picture but not a sound. I'm not talking about the sound wave, I'm talking about the sound design. Right, something like that. So we're going to discuss about it, that how they basically categorize this sound effects, and also in our later on class. So there are basically 7 types of logo which is actually being considered by the industry since they have started the logo designing stuff. But the standard is the 7, but nowadays because of some new type of artist and some new type of facilities in your softwares that could provide you a certain graphics which is unable, which we could not achieve through the other conventional or a traditional set of tools. So nowadays they had like artists who can use those tools to create something way better, or something a very different form of design which could not be put under the category of 7. So those are combination mark is not basically that sad, but we had included it in another one. And dynamic one is the one which is basically arguable. People are arguing about whether to put it in which category, but still there are artists who only works on this type of logo, so we had included that one in our session. Wordmark, letter forms, monogram, symbol, abstract, mascot, emblems, combo, and dynamic logos. Right? There is a very simple visual explanation of all of these, so we can understand about that. We later on how to draw that in Illustrator. We're going to discuss about that as well. So let's talk about word marks and logo types. What are word marks logos? Consist of the company's name. It basically has a company's name written in certain typeface. While this may sound very straightforward, right? It's mhm. Watermark, right? But that is a watermark. This is a word mark. It word mark is very different than a watermark. A watermark is basically a logo. It could be any logo which is used to mark the particular product, to copyright the particular product, that it belongs to a certain company. That is why they use a watermark. But word mark means that it's a mark. Mark is just represents the graphic, right? And word represents its purpose. So the word mark means only the text. If the text is going to be used for a company brand, then only you can provide the word mark. Now which type of company is basically you go for? The company which has a certain name which they had started with, or it could be a individual or a unique product name, such as if we talk about let's just say a very simple company which has a very unique distinctive drink in the industry. Exactly. Coca Cola, whenever we talk about a drink, that means the first name came inside of your mind is the Coca Cola. Correct. They right. Coca Cola has the authority over Pepsi as well. They have, because it is written in their bottles. You will see that it is basically belongs to a right. It basically belongs to the one head company, which is a Coca Cola, where Mirinda is also comes under that company. There are multiple brands inside of Coca Cola, right? So if we see that why they had started the name as a cola, right? Coco and cola, even though it doesn't sounds anything like cocoa. Cocoa is a form of coffee, right? It's a chocolate. So it's basically a true form is actually very bitter in taste if you talk about cocoa. So now in here Coca Cola is the company, they had started with this Coca Cola, right? And why they use word mark, as they had been promoting a very distinctive type of product which is not being introduced to the companies. People only at that time knows about the juices and the lemonades. They haven't uh, experienced sodas, they haven't experienced carbonated waters, they haven't experienced oxidization, they haven't experienced all those scientific chemicals which actually you use for a certain entertainment or something. So they people were not aware about it. So earlier what they had been taking up, they had been taking up juices, alcohol, there's alcohol as in fruits alcohol, which is like alcohol is very negligible amount, and that is beers, right? Similarly they have been working with it earlier. Honey juices were there also, right? So there are a lot of uh, designs were there or product were there, but there was no product such as Coca Cola at that time, at that point of time. So they had to introduce this product to the industry. And if they talk about let's just say if they had given a name which is a soft drink, Coca Cola is a soft drink, right? So if they had been came up with the name that it's a unique soft drink, how would people put their trust inside of like that? Because it gives you a certain sensation. Not everybody was used to the sodas and their fizzy experience. Nobody had experienced that, so people might have got the idea that this product is fish, I mean fishy product, or probably this product will be poisonous or fake product. They might get that idea. So they had to use something instead of a soft drink, because if you talk about a soft drink, it mostly be feel as in this is a very smooth kind of drink which we people could experience, right? They could use or drink. So wordmark logo actually is a term where you actually provide a company with the actual product name. You only throw that logo to the particular client which has a very unique style of, or a very distinctive product in the market which nobody else is selling out. That's why you provide them with the word mark, right? And if your product has to be sold individually, let's just say for example someone said ki, no, I do not, my product is good, it's a unique product, or either it is a product which is normally be used inside of the company. It could be a shoe or it could be t-shirt or whatever. How could I make it distinctive? Then you will provide them with a word mark of a name. I mean, it's not part for the graphic designer, but the graphic designer has to see whether the client has a distinctive name in the industry, right? if there is, huh, right, right. How do they, how, why they are surviving, right? uh, Basically you have to see that if the company has a distinctive person working inside of that company. Let's just say if we are talking about aft studio, aft, it's a institute as well, right? It's a bigger institute, right? Why aft is actually, the name itself, IAFT, they have a very huge name, right? So they didn't go for word mark, but they had a distinctive appeal. And what that appeal is? Celebrities, right? Anil Kapoor and bigger names are there. So they do not have a distinct product because they are not selling which any other institute in the market is selling, right? Everybody is selling the similar product. So they could not able to provide any some new education or new form of software or new set of something. They are providing, there is no experience in that as well, but I don't know how, why do you think that there's an experience there? Anil Kapoor is not coming in your classes and going to teach you, right? He's a board of director person. He's not going to teach you anything, okay? And the people who are being hired will be around the place. So you won't be getting any experience out of that. You are just going for an authenticity that of, and if Anil Kapoor is in their approach, then that might be my chances to get into the industry itself, right? So that is how they are working. But over here, sometimes in the if we talk about Coca-Cola company, we mostly talk about their distinctive product. If you are going for a Louis Vuitton, now Louis Vuitton bag is basically a brand which has a name Louis Vuitton, right? They have LV in there, but Louis Vuitton is the name of the company. Let me talk about Johnson's and Johnson. Who are Johnson's and Johnson, right? But the name Johnson and Johnson was the people who are the owner of the companies who has been known in their field since a longer time. They do not have the name, but their name itself became a brand, right? That if Sir Johnson said ki buy my water, then that means that Sir Johnson is putting his trust over in my water, and I'm going to sell this water to the people, correct? But what if I name it as Sir Johnson's water? You understand what I'm saying? In the product itself, I do not have to tell them, I do not have to hire Mr. Johnson every time to say that this, please drink this water. Let's just say if I am a person who's being selling in the industry, I have been selling this mobile, which is I bought it from, let's just say, from a separate company, okay? I'm just the distributor, I'm just selling out this. And if I'm selling out this, lot of time, and the product name was nothing. Huh? We have a company name nothing. No, no, I'm not saying about that nothing. I'm saying that sometimes people, not every business is actually uh, building a new product. There is no such thing as a building a new product, right? Everybody, if we talk about Samsung and if you talk about Intex, both of them were making mobiles, right? Only the, exactly, r- exactly. They were also making Intex, they were also introducing phones. Samsung is also introducing phones. And you're not understanding what I am saying right now. Okay, you're having a very a distinctive idea that you have a business knowledge, and I'm sure you have a business knowledge. I'm just telling you about why a person is going to put his name over at the product. Why would he put his name on the product? Because that person has some experience, and he is now giving his experience to the product. His trust that if this phone is going to be sold out by my name, which is also being known in the industry, so everybody would buy this one, right? That's why we provide a word mark logo. I don't wanted to get into the argument with why Intex is not selling and why Samsung is selling. I was not saying into that. I was telling you that I am also aware about the business markets, so I'm not telling you about that. I'm just telling you that why would Intex put his name on a mobile, and why would Samsung put his name on his mobile? Why do they use a word mark logo? Why Samsung use a word mark logo? Just like over it's written over here. So why do they use that? Right? To symbolize their trust. So if you wanted to create a logo in here, you are not a person who is giving them a business advice. Exactly. So if you are a graphic designer and you wanted to provide a word mark logo to a company, so how do you distinguish the company, that which company likes which logo? So you need to put the psyche behind it, that if a company which has a trust, which shows the trust inside of their product, then they need to be given a word mark logo, right? Let me make it more clear to you. Let's just say for a Mhm. Yes, definitely you can say that it's a combination logo which has a circular graphic or a line, but the circle is actually doesn't gives that much of I should say impact over at the logo. There is no distinct. I mean, if you talk about people that have you seen a Samsung Oval? If I show you the Samsung Oval itself, does that actually gives you a feeling of a Samsung? No, but that written Samsung gives the feeling that it's a Samsung logo, right? There are multiple distinguish we can actually see on that. Let me see the Samsung logo, right? This one, correct? This logo we are talking about, right? Now if I remove this one, and you see that not more often people who are aware about the industry, they might be actually distinguished that it seems like a logo with this. But if you talk about general people, their consumers are general people, and they mostly trust on the written Samsung thing rather than the graphic, right? It is a combination mark logo. It basically can be said that it's a combination mark logo. But some places on which, such as like my mobile, where they had printed their name only, right? So at that place I could say that this mobile doesn't belongs to Samsung, but it is not. It is basically sold out from their stores as well, right? So what my point was to why you actually create a word mark logo. So you need to distinguish, as a graphic designer, if I'm being asked by a company, a random company whom I don't know, and they told me that please create a logo for me, for my company, for my brand, how will you create it? But if they do not, huh? That's what I'm saying. That's why you need to actually read the company. You need to ask them some few questions, that what is the how much time you had spent in your company, I mean with your product, what market you are actually acquiring. No, 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 for 100 years that is emblem. Right, right. Right, we create emblem, right? For this one we had to ask them that if there is any distinct name which is related to your product. If they tell you about, yes, my uncle who has been famous around the globe, and he had established this company, let's just say Ford, Uncle Ford, right? He is the one who has been working on the product since that, and we are selling it to the companies. But now we wanted to create a Ford Mobile. We are opening a newer brand, and I am just wanted a logo for mobile, and my company sells the cars, right? Ford. So then what type of logo it has to be given to that particular then? So yeah, not emblem from them, because I am having a 100-year business but in the car section, but that mobile company is just launched, right? And I am the owner of the mobile company, so I wanted people to be known, and I could not go in any house, every house, and tell them that I am Mr. Ford who has been created, my business is 100 years old and my car is there, and now I have started with my new mobile company. So how do you relate that product with the name? Then you will throw them a word mark logo. Right. So you will have to provide that particular name logo for that. So how do you create a name logo inside of Illustrator, right? To create a name logo, first you need to create a text. Hmm? Hmm? Word logo will be very much easy. It was We just have to type, and we need to provide some little bit of art in the into that, color theories and artworks as well. So to type a text, you need to press T. T is the shortcut for the text tool, or either take it from here as well. You can use it however you want. Text tool can be used in two types. You can either click and drag, and that will give you a paragraph section. And if you wanted to create a logo, you need to just click once, right? Here I'm giving a fake brand will be Samsung brand. Let's just say it was a brand, but now we are using it. Now, as you can see, it's very much small. So all of those WordPad, Notepad techniques are available over here in the character section. If you do not find that in your properties panel, this is a properties panel. Earlier we had discussed. So if you do not find it here, you will have to see for character over here, right? If there is none available, let's just say if I close them, oh, that's there are some times that it actually get vanished off from this section. Then you need to go to window and go to characters. You need to see the character, or control T is the shortcut, right? So here you will also find it. It will pop up and add on over here. So now what we will do, we'll have to see a particular font for it in, but first I wanted it to be on a decent size. Doesn't matter which size you provide, just make it so that it will be visible to you. Why the size doesn't matter? Because if we talk about, we'll have to double click over it, the text, and then we'll have to click and put a this. Now selection tool will be there. Selection tool is the V is the shortcut. This tool is actually used to move things around, right? And I have already told you about the rotation and right these facilities. Everything is there. Okay. Now as you can see, press shift and drag so that it will come onto a very clear design, right? And if you wanted to provide a good base to the text, right, because we if we provide a simple text into here, into this portion, now people will be there who will imitate the design, right? If there is a fake and I should say fraud product is also being sold inside of the industry, which is similar to your product, so they could use a simpler name change and the similar font. So you need to provide a unique font to that. So from where do you provide a unique font? As you can see, Here you will have lot of galleries of fonts, right, over in the character section. You can actually click and drag, and there is lot of separate designs are there. But if you wanted something which doesn't belongs in the conventional software, inside of conventional software, and you wanted to create something big or something different, so then you will be needing a very different type of font. So to download a font, you need to go to Da Font. There, I'm sure there are like tons of other sites as well from where you can actually a buy, or either you can download a font for a good base. All of those designs are here as well, right? And if you wanted to go for something like strong, so go press the strong, and you will be getting the strong type of fonts, right? So you can take any of that which has a good base, such as like this, and we'll download it. it every font is free, of course, so you don't have to worry about it. Click on it, double click, and you will see that there are other types of fonts are here. .otf or .ttf, these two type of font are basically see. OTF, that means original type font, and TTF means true type font. Okay, so you need to double click, and it will be open something like this. Press install. So that will be installed inside of your system. Install each and every design, so that if you wanted to provide a very distinctive unique type of design, so you need to use this. Install. Right, so now you have typed the logo, and you need a strongman design, so you just have to go over here and search for strongman. ST. Okay, ST, right, strongman design. So let's say if I go for this one as well. Now we can use it as a simple name, or either we can modify this. In order to modify this, you need to convert it into a shape. Currently text is a very different object, and a shape or a design is a very different object. In here I could not able to move my S character and replace it with a O. Only I have to type it and then replace, right? That is the only portion I could achieve. But if I wanted to modify these text in a very different manner, I wanted to make it a circle or a curve over here, or I wanted to create a design inside of this portion, I wanted to do all of those changes, so I had to make it a shape. How do you convert this into a shape? You need to go to object and press expand. When you expand it, it will actually ask you for an object or fill. I have already told you about a vector shape, the three properties: the fill, the path, and the stroke. So it will convert it into an object and a fill. You have to press OK, and now this is a complete separate shape. How do you say that it's a shape? First, when you double click over it, it didn't give you the facility to type a new text. First, a very simple thing. Another, press A, which is the white arrow, so you can able to see the anchor nodes, the points through which this thing is created, the fill and the stroke, and also those curve which can be used to smooth the design. Right, if I wanted to make my S design very much similar, so I'll press shift in order to take the multiple anchor points. In order to select the multiple points, I'll have to press shift and drag, and then click and drag, and as you can see, my whole design has smoother ends, right? It is completely changed through the to that to the comparison to that text which we had been using, right? We are actually going to change it. So this cannot be achieved without the design changes. Now there is I have already shown you about the tools which were available over here, right? So you can use all of those tools in order to add something in your text, right? Let's just say if I wanted to add a circular design over here, right? Let's just say if this thing is something related to a tech company, right, and I wanted to give them a word mark, so I will be providing some nuts or some connector designs in order to improvise on my um, text. So I have selected this, and then I'll put a white color. Currently we haven't applied any color theory inside of it. We are just using negative space. Negative space means where you have one color and then you take the up another color and put a design over it, right? It will be making more sense when you get to start working in the graphic designing industry. Negative space arts are the space arts in which you draw in the negative space, such as like this one. You have seen the girl's face, but there is a hand is also drawn over here which is in the negative space. So this could be a negative space drawing. This could be also a negative space drawing, even though the design is drawn over here, but in such a manner that I could able to see a different imagery available here as well. So that is a negative space design. So here I am also creating something like that. I have created a shape, and then I'll press alt and drag it over here. So now I have copied the portion. Then if I wanted to connect them, right, so I need to be creating this with a shape, and you can use pen tool. Pen tool is the tool which is actually um, I should say is the most used tool in the whole industry, in the graphic, in the movie industry and everything. This tool is the one which is applied in every of the industry, right? Everywhere you will find it, even in the 3D arts also. So you need to touch this one. How do you use this particular pen tool? Huh? By P is the shortcut, right? And also, first, did you notice that there's a star sign available there, right? When you click on that asterisk sign or star sign, it will provide you, it will create a node, that is an anchor node, and then it will provide you a connector line. This connector line will be the shape where you will be this will form a connection between the two nodes, right? So if I click on that, if I click on this, if I click on that, click something like that, as you can see, software is automatically filling up the spaces between it, right? So if I click on this one, click over here, click over here, and if I click back from where we had started, the whole shape is completed with a fill that is white. If I double click over it, I will be getting the color picker. I'll press OK, and then you can see that I had already created the shape, right? So pen tool provides you the facility to draw a custom design which you wanted to create. So if I double click over it and take a white color, I click over here, I click on this portion, then this portion, then this portion, then this portion, and then this portion. I could also use this as a connector. So now I had created this particular connection line. If I wanted to pick color from this object, I will be using this eyedropper tool, right? This can actually pick the color and its each and every property and can copy it to the selected object. So now I have a connector line and also I have a different shape. Now I could provide the similar thing on the uh, shapes that are being smoothened up. Only Alt and drag so that you can connect it. Again, you can use the pen tool. So now I have provided some different designs to my particular text. This could be also used as a word mark logo, right? I could use any other design included here, include with this one. So I could create a combination mark as well, but currently we are not talking about the combination mark. We're just going to be resides through the text. So every creativity whatever we are creating has to be over in this one, right? So you can take the uh, fonts from any place and then you can take it inside of the Illustrator, convert it to an object. We had already converted that product. How do you convert that? You just have to go to object, press on expand while selecting the text. Okay, then you start creativity, providing creativity to your particular text. Then it could be anything which you can start with. So first task which I'm gonna provide you is to create a word mark logo. Now as we have seen in our slide, there are lot of examples over here which has been used as a word mark. You might be able to see HP, right? It is also having a negative space design between the H and a P, right? There is also bed, bath, and beyond, right? Here they had used beyond in such a manner that it is not could be able to written in bed and bath. This font is being turned into a shape and then it is stretched by the artist in order to meet the ends end, right? So यहाँ पे देखेंगे तो O N D, D को स्ट्रेच मार दिया उसने ताकि नॉर्मली टाइप करके कोई बियॉन्ड ना लिख पाए, राइट? ये वाला जो है इट इज नॉट, इट कुड नॉट बी एबल टू क्रिएट बाय दिस. फाइव गाइज बर्गर्स एंड फ्राइज, ये this logo can also be there's a trademark symbol, very small trademark symbol is available here, though this can be right, right, R circle that is available there, but this can be I should say this also can be copied. This can be copied, anybody could copy this one also, this one also, but the company uses that in a manner that other brands could not able to be hindered among with the design. So the placement is also very much crucial between the text. So if you are going to create a word mark logo, you need to think first for the good base of a text, then you need to think of the creativity which you are providing in the text, and then you need to think about the spaces The spaces is very much important, which could actually give away the design, where that which design is authentic and which design is a fraud one, which is copying that from the original. Okay, so all of these designs are basically your uh, word mark logo. Okay, and in order to create that, you just have to provide a simple text good base and then provide some simpler design into it, right? Then we're gonna go for some more complex design as well, right? In the later on classes, we're gonna go for the much more complex designs. So you need to create this Samsung word mark, right? They had also provided it is not exactly a word mark, because there is an abbreviation of an software. So abbreviation logo is a different letter mark, right? So this is a letter mark because it is AI, Adobe Illustrator, right? So that is a letter mark logo, and a word mark logo will be the complete name of the company. Other than that, there is nothing hidden inside of it, right? So companies like such as your as I have told you about HP. HP is currently not considered to be as a word mark logo, because this is a letter mark logo. It is more into a letter mark. Fluid Packard, right? Fluid Packard name is the company. Yeah, it's basically the slides. When we were making the slide, the graphic is included inside of all of that, so it is just like there. That's why I'm making it clear that this is not a logo, which is right. It is not a word mark logo. So moreover, the letter marks are basically the single letters which you are using. So we're gonna talk about this because we will use some different techniques to create these type of logos, right? So till then you have to work with at least five of these. You can use any type of design. I have already used one. You can use this one also. Then you can use it up on the cursive writing style. You can use something like that. You can connect all of these texts. Mascot logo, okay, sure. All right, so sure, we'll, yeah, where, when is your competition is? Okay, okay, correct. All right, right. Okay, so from the next class, we'll be starting with the mascot logo, right? So this will be helping you with the shapes. So first, you need to do the practices with this pen tool. Start working with this pen tool, and also, right. Right. No issues. First, we will start with the mascot. Then you can actually relate the text also, if that could be put inside of a mascot or not, right? But it's a separate thing, so it won't be having any connection with all of these, right? Though the tools which has been used over in here are the similar tools which are going to be used for the mascot, right? So we're gonna talk about it. Okay. So for now, that's it for today, and I'll be sending you this via your email. Earlier ones you don't get the video, right? Okay, I'll give it to you. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, bye bye. Take care.